Yo, yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? If you see smoke, you already know what time it is. We're keeping it raw and uncut. And for those of you who like, I'm very observant of myself. I like to watch my videos over to see where I need to make adjustments and, stuff like that. And I seen in my first part one the way I was moving a lot and rocking side to side. Y'all have to understand when that inner child comes out and is finally speaking up. It's like giving a chihuahua a 50-pound weight. It's a lot, man. And this helps me. I have a connection with Earth that is unusual to most that will understand. I was having a conversation with my brother yesterday, and I was explaining to him how to connect with Earth differently when it comes to telekinesis because I'm clairaudient. I rely on my ears to do most of my work, right? And I'm learning new ways to navigate without my ears. Without my ears, and ever since then, I've learned new tricks in reality when it comes to connecting with Earth, how to create networks, how to create your own network system, how to communicate with crystals, how to communicate with plants, plant medicine. See, what people don't understand is when you're inhaling the plant itself, you're inhaling yourself. You're inhaling yourself. Question is, what part of yourself are you connecting with that you're in? When you're inhaling it and consuming it, what part of yourself are you inhaling? This is chemistry. Fire gives earth life. Think about it. Why do you think they made this illegal? Why do you think you have some people in the spiritual community saying, oh, stop smoking weed because you don't be able to remember your dreams and blah, 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 blah. Every time I hear that, when you truly understand plants, this is my mother's energy. She was deep in the agriculture. She actually had a what do you call it? The system, this damn matrix game. What do they call those things? Like the bachelor's. Oh yeah, a degree. And that's the dumbest name to call. Like when you really listen to these words, I know I'm going off subject, but why would you name something that you earn an angle, a degree? Think about it. You're giving somebody an angle, but it's a square paper. You gotta they play with reality in so many ways with words. You really like when you lock into this place, it's nuts. Um, but anyway, back to what I was saying. Are we keeping this because this is raw? This is what happens with Gemini when I cross the channels versus separated them that I'm supposed to with Mercury, but they crossed and blended. And on top of that, my antenna is facing my hotspot is northeast. That's why I get a better signal. I lock into every single listen. I'm all over the place right now. My antenna is picking up a lot. within this area, but a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be teaching you in the university, like I mentioned this stuff because when you put yourself out there in the field to actually learn your abilities, you're learning things about yourself at a significant rate to where you have to have your awareness on at all moments. I didn't realize that until I was living outside, which was cool, honestly. It was a different experience, but it was definitely cool because of what I was able to do with my energy, with sound, with locating, with moving freely energetically versus being boxed in all the time. Like I was able to do things. Most people will be like, "How did you do that?" I wouldn't be able to explain it to them in English, but I'd be like, "Look, you got to go from here to boom, 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 boom." They'd be like, "What?" Like nature itself would teach you more about abilities than scrolling on the screen, trying to watch and seeing what someone else does. I know I went completely off subject of the story, but I'm allowing Gemini to recalibrate. So I'm just flowing right now. I'm flowing. But when you allow yourself to, I'm probably picking up on a whole new subject, but listen, this is raw. I'm telling you, when Gemini starts cutting up, it starts cutting up. Because eventually I'm going to catch that story that I was telling in the beginning. And I'm going to pick up from it like it was brand new. But a lot of the stuff that I experienced, it happened a lot during my childhood. But I had to be put in the same experience in a different way to reactivate it again. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of my story has to do with my childhood because that's where everything started. Like people think I was staying with the greatest family in the world. I don't even have to say their name. That's how bad it is. Because of who I am, when I say, like, I don't have to say their name, they know exactly who it is because of who I am. That's like that's how bad it is. So as soon as I start talking, it's game over. Like it's already bad. I don't like to use that word, but it's already that way. But once I unload the clip, come on now. Then y'all wonder why I was quiet for all of those years. All of those years. I'm talking about age 7 all the way to about 30 something, 34. Because once I began to really stay on my own and really cut them off, like my life was coming back. Like, I'm not going to say everything with them was all bad, but energetically, because I focused on what I was hearing, I didn't understand what I was seeing, but I know what I was hearing because I could feel it. This is where my deep clairaudience comes from and why I got gauges at a specific size. I tapped into the this ancient aspect early because it was like, look, we have to teach you how to really hear. This is your kickstart or whatever you want to call it. Like I don't know how to give it an English word, but this is it. You have to know this in order to work with everything else. So I was like, okay, take me on the journey. And as a child, me being silent like that, it really taught me a lot about feminine energy, how to receive, how to feel, how to, like, the depths of understanding, feeling, rhythm, pitch, volume, tone, etc. Like, I knew that at an early age. Because most people know about me dancing and being a musician, playing the drums, the keyboard, guitar, all that. They know, those that know me, they know how I get down on the instruments. And I'll say this every single time. I'll say it and I'll bring it up because he he has a sound too that I've never heard. Because every time I heard him play the keyboard, it was like, yo, we got to have a jam session every time because his sound activated a certain rhythm in me. It was like, yo, I like that. And then I was able to play the drums a certain way that no one's ever heard before. It's like it's a rhythm and a style because, again, this is what fascinated me so much about 369. Because when Tesla was like, once you understand the sounds of the universe, you understand everything. I was like, say less. I already knew what he was talking about. So that's where I began with the compass. Well, before I even get into the whole thing with the compass, I gotta finish the story about the youngin and the people and how everything act. But a lot of my abilities, especially with electricity, I'm still learning that one. I used to do this thing as a kid because that's what we had, the real cotton, the real linen blankets and stuff. And there was this thing I would do is I would rub my hands together under a blanket and then take my fingertips and rub my hands on the blanket, like rubbing them, and I would see blue sparks. Like, yeah, look at the sparks, sparks and sparks and sparks. But then I would take my hands out of the blanket and still see the sparks. And I'm like, hmm, okay. I kept that secret. I showed one of the people that stayed there, and he was like, "No, that's not real." I'm like, "You can't see that? You can't see it?" And I never spoke about it again. Like, there's so many things in my childhood that I'm remembering is so vividly clear. This is why I push out astrology the way I do because look, the sky is the mirror to what the hell is going on down here. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, the place is inverted. Up is down and down is up. Right is left, left is right. If you ever played a video game with the analog stick, you pull it down and it goes up, you understand what I'm talking about. This is pretty much what's going on here. This is why you have no polarity. So when shit flips, you know how to flip. Oh, this place is wicked. Like the mirrors, everywhere you walk is a mirror. That's what's so wild about it. Everywhere you walk is a mirror because there's a front and back. You have to go forward and then turn around and go back the other way. Look at it like you're in a moment, but you're circling in a small space. Until you create a whole different movement of energy, then you can make another image. Like this place is crazy, man. Like, yeah. Um, but yeah, man. The environment that I stayed in as a child, around all that type of energy, I would go into details and the depths of that, but that's saying a little bit too much. But by me saying that alone is enough. It's already enough. Because me speaking right now is already ruffling feathers. Just by me saying what I'm saying, it's already ruffling feathers. Because I promise you, everybody knew. Everybody knew about that family. Everybody knew. Because y'all gotta understand this. This is what not many people understand. You're in a home with a bunch of motherfuckers you don't know, but you have to associate yourself there because of your father. Who the fuck are these people? Where the fuck are we? Where the fuck am I? What is this place? What it like? That's those questions would always cross my mind. But that pink bubblegum medicine was really, really good. Like, hey, listen. Like I know a lot of the kids who been posting videos about the GATE program. Listen, I remember that shit clear as day. That them big ass headphones. Oh yeah. It mainly happened in pre-K and kindergarten. I can't tell you how many teachers pulled me back. Like all the students left, and they pulled me back and say the same. They all said the same thing. It was so creepy. It was like watching the Truman Show, but with a different grade. They all said the same thing. You're a very smart boy, but why don't you put the effort into it? What I wanted to say, the image of the white man with the briefcase. I was like, I don't want to get taken away. So like the trauma that built up, like y'all gotta understand, man. Some of the wild activity in that home, it really, really traumatized me. Like really, really that like that white man with the briefcase, that stood with me till I was about 30 something, 32, 2-ish. Like when everything started to really activate in me, I would always think about that and then stop. That's why that gap from 2012 to 2022, because like I would do stuff here and there, but not a lot. I would always use my vocal abilities back then versus all the other ones because I was afraid of what would happen if I really start doing stuff. What would happen? You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Like from my growth of understanding the environment that you put yourself in, you're going to copy that whole entire system. Like look at it like a computer. You've been running the same pattern in the computer to where it's memorized in that like the computer memorized everything so much to where it knows exactly piece by piece how you move. It's what I've learned within my framework that I built, like the whole LMIU stream system. What I learned is the subconscious programs itself when it repeats things between 45 or more times. It becomes programmed. Now it's become a habit. It's become a part of you and it's become a habit. You've programmed that type of movement of energy within your machine to now it mimics that in everything you do. Whatever you're working on, reality itself, everything you do, that energy is going to play itself within you until you change it. That's what people don't understand. So when you start to go back to your childhood, because listen, the sky is booming right now. This is why I've been really heavy. That I told you it was gonna come back. I told you it's gonna come back. I've been real heavy with the astrology stuff lately. There's a story, I'm not story, but I've been mapping. I started with the calendar system and then the 321, and then I went deeper into it. I was documenting things from the full moon from June 29th till July 29th, and now I'm documenting from July 29th till the August solar eclipse. Because in my journal, there was already, we just recently had in my journal a new moon and a full moon in the body. So this is going to be interesting. How, like, listen, so much happens within your body because you're your own universe that what happens here is nonsense. It's nonsense until you align, like you're bringing you're aligning your solar system. You're mirroring yourself with the sky, literally mirroring yourself with the sky. Meaning, you've learned your body in a way that when you see what is happening directly in the sky, whatever celestial body it's in, whatever combination is going on in the sky, you can align with it and move with it because you know it within yourself. Once you balance and harmonize with it, then you can move how you please within it. You see what I'm saying? Like it's so fire, man. I know the stories all over the place, but listen, this is how I be literally. Because the more I talk about that family, it's like so much garbage. Like I said, yeah, there was some good, but the negative outweighs that on by a thousandfold, man. Everything that happened in that house was swept under the rug. And I promise you, everybody got a story. I know everybody got a story. They just don't want to talk about it. But I know everybody got a story about something that happened in that house and they got swept under the rug. I promise you that. Oh, I promise you that, man. Y'all don't want me to run my mouth, man. As much stuff that I see, y'all don't want me to run my mouth. Ooh, wee. But yeah, man. He's like 22 minutes in, and then the story is all over the place. I promise you. But like I said, raw and uncut, man. I'm telling my story however I want to tell it, but it's gonna get told. I promise you that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like, but before I close this out, the interesting thing about this story is why my mother chose their mother. Once I dug deeper into that and realized who their mother was, everything that happened within my life, I understood why I listened to her more than anyone around me. Because I don't even want to say family member, but the handler, that's what I'm going to say, the handler that they gave me, because the way she was behaving was definitely a handler. The handler that they gave me. Because y'all gotta understand, I'm in the house because of my father. So it's like, I don't know these people. So it's like, okay, we gotta assign you with somebody because your father can't do it. Yep. We gotta assign you with someone to like look over you, or as they say, raise or train you to be like them. Looks like y'all don't get it. To train you to be like them, move like them, literally be and move like them. It was creepy, right? But because a lot of the times I didn't speak much, I could feel a lot of things but didn't know how to express it. You know what I'm saying? And again, the the gift that my father gave me, a feeling, a deep feeling, man. It's like that happened too. It was always on and off, on and off, on and off. But I can feel everything and know exactly what they really meant and did the opposite. Because like I was saying, my handler, when she would say things, her voice had no direction, no nothing. It was just a force. It's just force. Oh, do this and do this. No, you got to do it my way. It's got to be my. It's got to. And it's always force, 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 force. It was never. Well, can we do it this way? Well, can I do it my way? Because I don't like the way you do it. It was always no. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, okay, bet. It was always forced to where I never listened to her. Never. When I say I never listened, absolutely never listened. Because I understood vibrations, tone, pitch, volume, the true intent behind what they were saying versus someone just actually speaking from the heart. They never spoke from the heart. And I always felt that. So when their mother always spoke to me, it was like, oh, I hear you. I was like, I see you. Good God. Okay, I hear you loud and clear. Yes, sir. And it like solid direction. It was someone that knew what they were talking about, but had a hard time expressing it. This is why their mother was so significant, and I was able to contact her and connect with her. She would always come to me, honestly. Like she would always come to me because she knew I could connect and contact anytime I wanted to. She knew. Trust me, Grandma knew a lot of stuff that half of y'all will probably be like, nah, Grandma knew. Half the stuff Grandma saw me do, Grandma knew. The thing was, I wasn't chaotic with what I was doing. I was like one of those who would like, okay, I'm in the corner, nobody's watching. Okay, boom, now I'm doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was one of those versus, like, look what I can do. No, I was like, let me see what else I can do. Like just in private, always doing stuff in private. That's why I spend, honestly, I promise you, I spend about 95% of my time in a room. Like that's how I live my entire life. I'll come out eventually to play my video game and stuff like that, but always in my room. That was my only safe haven in my own energy. With the door closed, chilling, either playing my games or reading a book or something. Anything to be in my own space and my own energy where I can feel myself versus everybody around me. Nobody ever understood why I would stay in a room by myself all the time, but because if I was to really explain what I'm doing, that image of that guy in the case, it popped out. Just like I'll make something up, make up a lie or whatever. It was always like that. But I kind of jumped the gun. But because I could do that and feel, so during my younger years with this individual, I would say about four, no, 2 to about 7. Then she was very genuine with what she was saying. She was very loving and caring because I could feel that within her tone, pitch. I'm very loving and caring when I was a little smaller and younger. But the moment when she asked me that I wanted to get adopted, and I said no, like it was the most interesting thing I've ever experienced. They're asking a 13-year-old if they want to be adopted. That was very interesting. And I said no immediately. I didn't hesitate. I said no. Ever since then, everything changed. Everything changed. When I say everything changed. I want to do a part three, because we're on 30 minutes. And I don't know if YouTube can hold that. So hold that. I'm stopping it right here. Signing out. Keeping this. We keeping this. We keeping this. I don't even care. We keeping this.